G'day guys, and today I want to chat to you all a bit about porn. Now I do truly do hope that everyone who watches this video actively partook in No Nut November, which is of course abstinence from porn and masturbating for the entire month of November, and a lot of people use this as a sort of springboard to quit porn in its entirety. And what I want to do today is, of course, congratulate anyone who undertook that challenge, because it is a challenge, because you're sort of, curing a potentially multi-year addiction in the process. So congratulations to anyone who was able to complete that endeavor, and to anyone who didn't, well, don't worry, you're just in time for Deny Your Dick December. So, it's not a time-based event. You can attempt or fully quit yourself, wean yourself off porn at any time, and I highly encourage everyone to do this. Now, what I would like to do today to help you out with that is make you all aware, if you're not already, of a website called YourBrainonPorn.com. Now, YourBrainonPorn.com is run by a bunch of guys, some of whom are recovering from porn addiction, and it brings a lot of information to the table regarding essentially the dangers of porn. Now, that's obviously perhaps a novel thought. We don't think of porn as something dangerous, but it is an addictive thing, and one of the main themes of the website is that evolution, biology has not prepared you for today's porn. So something that I often talk about in the channel is how culture and technology evolves faster than biology. So I've chatted about before in my videos when I'm discussing, roles of masculinity. We're still sort of a caveman biologically, but obviously our culture and technology has adapted so quickly, and we sometimes seem to forget this because we have this very nice society. Well, it's very much the same when concerning porn. Your brain is sort of hardwired towards to have an automatic response to females or mates. Obviously, females, procreation, that securing of that genetic legacy is one of the most important things, one of the biggest and strongest dopamine drives in the human brain. So when you're constantly exposing yourself to women, which your brain thinks are women, even though they're 2D, you can see how this can become quite an addictive and deleterious effect for your health. So there's a lot of interesting information on here talking about symptoms you may be experiencing. Porn can lead to erectile dysfunction. You can also lead to feeling asexual. Your porn taste can change over time, becoming more extreme, and you can end up in a strange state where you're very aroused by porn but not so aroused by women. And the website will go into that, explaining how your brain can become sensitized to some areas and desensitized to some areas based on what essentially you feed your brain. So it's all about feedback loops and that sort of thing. So it's entirely fascinating information. I do encourage anyone who wants to undertake this journey, as I have, to arm themselves with the correct knowledge. Now, for my own personal journey, it was just a matter of philosophy for me at that point, because I was sort of reading Stoic philosophy, and I was like, I don't like the fact that I'm succumbing to this temptation all the time. So that was the reason why I quit porn and quit masturbating in general, because I did not enjoy myself as I saw it, succumbing to temptation and vice all the time. But it would have been really helpful if I knew about this at the time, because we can learn about sensitization, the formation of sensitized addiction pathways, the malfunctioning stress systems, and all the potential side effects or symptoms of a porn addiction that no one really wants to talk about today, because obviously a lot of people watch porn, a lot of guys watch porn. It's a really common occurrence, and it's like when people are confronted with truth, it can be quite often easy to just push it aside, because they start to engage with this idea that yes, watching porn is bad, watching porn is unhealthy. Then they have to look at themselves and say, look, I've been doing this unhealthy and bad thing for potentially decades in the case of some people. So it's a very confronting thing for some people, and what you will find, as I find, is that you will actually be ostracized for not watching porn in a minor matter. You're not going to be shut out and no one wants to hang out with you, but people will laugh and think you're strange and that sort of thing. But again, that's just them attempting to defend their own actions rather than confronting the anxiety-provoking fact that they might have been engaging in an unhealthy behavior for many years. So that's just a little sidetrack there, but I highly encourage everyone to check out this website. There's loads of good resources on here. Arm yourself with the knowledge to make it that much easier to quit porn, because obviously when we're walking around in the modern day, you don't really hear much against porn. It's sort of seen like as a weird thing, it's just like, it's a bit gross and that sort of stuff, but it's something everyone does. You don't hear about the fact that porn can make you fatigued and irritable, lack of motivation, depression, and that's what really triggers me about porn, is because you're essentially rewiring your brain to become demand instantaneous gratification, because if you can just sit down at any point in time and get that really high dopamine drive reward, which is sexual pleasure, the approval, and, well, approval, again, it's all 2D, but your brain still thinks it's really real. If you can achieve that very coveted prize of sexual reproduction and the approval of females and bedding a female and getting a female, if you can get that all the time, then your brain is going to rewire itself to expect that all the time. And then when you're going about your daily business, you go to your job, there's things you need to do around the house. Obviously, those aren't as stimulating as sex, and your brain will not reward you as much. You will become desensitized to little, minute, important tasks. And this is really important if we want to live a good and productive and glorious life, because we need to be able to defer gratification. And what porn does is it ruins your ability to defer gratification. So that's the real big takeaway for me. Of course, if we want to live a good life, we need to be able to defer gratification to push away reward in the moment for potential greater reward later. And if you're watching porn all the time and masturbating all the time, well, you're not teaching yourself this important lesson. So I highly recommend that everyone check out this website, arm yourself up with knowledge, and kick the porn. Thanks all for sticking around, and have a good one.